The tracks were too fresh. At sunrise, a young tracker found giant tracks pressed deep into the frozen mud. The herd had passed close to camp during the night. That should have meant meat. Warm hides. Enough fat to keep children alive through the long cold. So the tracker followed. At first, the signs were easy. Broken reeds. Crushed snow. A dark smear of blood on a stone. But after the second ridge, something felt wrong. The giant tracks were enormous, but the toes pointed toward him. Every step said the animal was walking out of the valley. And yet the trail led deeper in. He knelt and touched the mud. It was still soft. Then he saw the smaller prints inside the giant ones. Human feet. Bare. Pressed into each giant track as if someone had stepped exactly where the beast had stepped. Someone was using the mammoth trail to hide their own. The tracker should have turned back. Instead, he raised his spear and kept moving, because the blood on the stone was not beast blood. It was the red-brown color of a cooking fire. Human blood. The trail entered a gorge where the wind could not reach. Bones hung from branches. Not tied. Wedged there by hands that wanted them to rattle. When the tracker passed under them, the bones clicked above his head. Something answered from the gorge wall. A low call. Not mammoth. Not wolf. Almost human, but too deep in the chest. He saw the trap one breath too late. The backwards giant tracks led to a frozen pool. The ice looked thick, dusted white, safe enough to cross. Then he saw the cracks. Hundreds of them. All hidden under snow. On the far side of the pool, a child from his camp crouched between stones, alive, with one hand over her mouth. Behind her stood three figures wearing beast hides over their shoulders. Their faces were painted with ash. Their feet were bare. They had made the giant beast seem to walk backward. They had made hunger do the rest. The tracker lowered his spear. If he charged, the ice would take him. If he ran, the child would vanish into the gorge. So he did something no hunter in his camp would ever do. He placed his spear on the snow. Then he stepped onto the ice without it. The painted men laughed. They thought he had surrendered. But the tracker was not crossing the ice. He was listening to it. Every frozen pool has a safe voice and a breaking voice. His grandmother had taught him that while cutting water holes in winter. He shifted his weight once. The ice groaned to his left. He shifted again. The groan ran under the painted men. They stopped laughing. The tracker looked at the child and whispered one word. Run. Then he jumped hard onto the weakest white line. The pool split open with a sound like a tree cracking in the sky. Water swallowed the beast hides first. Then the painted men. Then the false trail. The child ran across the stones. The tracker rolled onto solid ground with one arm numb and blue from the cold. At dusk, they reached camp with no meat, no hides, and no fat for winter. But they carried the truth. Sometimes the most dangerous animal in the valley is not the one leaving tracks. It is the one clever enough to wear them.